Hi, everyone. It's Sarah, no support workers today. I've got Stevie Lee. Welcome aboard, Stevie Lee, to a podcast on Sarah, no support workers.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, let's just dive into this because your timing is perfect for this podcast because you are the director and founder of Pure Living Accommodation and Care.
Yes.
Yep. So as we're recording right now in May, there's some really big changes coming to the NDIS and in the SEAL space. Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think we've been prepared from this from the start. So I actually feel pretty confident. I didn't listen to too much noise, to be honest. Yeah.
Sometimes the noise really deflects on the good work that we do, and it feels like a hold up.
I would agree. I think a lot of people are freaking out, and I think this change was always going to come. It's just something that's been talked of, and, like support coordination, for an example. I think that, it's really scaring a lot of people and it's creating a lot of noise. There's lots of things in the media, there's lots of things filtering that aren't necessarily true. We're still waiting for these changes to pass. And we just keep doing the work that we're doing, and I have no doubt we will be more than fine.
So you've been in the sector for a while. This is not like an overnight thing for you. What made you work in the disability sector to begin with?
Yeah, okay. So I actually started off long ago doing support work. I went and got my certificate 3 in disability support work, and my first role was with House with No Steps, which is now a Rooma. I was doing some transition to work training with those guys as well while studying community services and case management at TAFE. And then I did a bit of aged care work, and then I moved straight into crisis work and got a degree in social welfare. So all my roles from there were identified roles. And so I've worked at Carrie's Place for over 6 years with people experiencing domestic violence and homelessness. And I then went into child protection. I worked for Wandiali with Indigenous families. And that was literally preservation, restoration, and keeping families together, which I'm super passionate about. And then I moved into the cultural hub with DCJ. Again, keeping families together in the prenatal space. And then I went to disability advocacy, but it was a little bit too boring for me. Whilst it's a very important role, it's just very paperwork heavy in terms of, it's different. You're sitting at a computer and there's not a lot of face to face happening. So for me, I was so bored. I could hear the clock tick in the background. So I love the crisis kind of driven casework. So I guess I've always been drawn to it.
So I'm going to put it out there. Are you a millennial like myself and been through multiple seasons of this sector?
Absolutely. Well, I'm 36 next week, so
I love to be collecting millennials at the moment. Like I feel like this podcast, I've collected a few I call us millennial elders because we have been through before the NDIS to what it looks like now. So we are aware and prepared for what comes
yeah.
next, I suppose.
Yeah. And I think it's always good to try and find different ways to make things work. In all my roles, there's been very little resources, and we always find a way to make things work.
Do you like the thrill of it in the sense like being with people
I
and
do. I
being in the thick of
actually
it?
yeah, so I hate on the ground. I hate computer work. I hate being tied to the desk. My passion is working with the awesome people that we support, and it's connecting with families. It's getting out in the community. I absolutely love it. And it's hustle. Like, it's always hustle.
So if you're a hustler, how did you end up with a business? Because they're very different when you're on, when you're with working with somebody and then working on your business externally behind a computer.
Yeah, look, I ended up in a support worker role just doing casual work, and I was asked to actually come to this company that had, well, sorry, another company that had one participant, and they were providing SIL. Then I fell into the role of growing the company. So I was then the marketing, and then I found a love for marketing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a people's person, right? So
Are you my
marketing.
twin?
Moved into like ops manager, but then I was still doing the support work. Then I was the recruitment. And look, I wasn't working for a fantastic standalone one person company. And I can say that company is no longer registered. So I was halfway through a mortgage with COVID. A house was being built, and I couldn't make the jump, but I needed to make the jump. And my amazing husband in the background just started putting things together and said, "You're doing it anyway. Just do it. Just make the jump." So we got registered. I think we were registered 3 months into us starting. And he went away for deployment. He's in the RAF and he came back to a business, which I never thought I was ever going to use. I thought, yeah, whatever. So I fell into this. I've never done anything as wild as this, and it's had its moments, but I absolutely love it.
I love the fact that it was kind of like accident, but in your I feel like you're somebody that's a builder by nature, whether it is building people up or building businesses, it's something that comes naturally to you.
Yeah, I think the whole running of the place, but then I've never, when you work for big organizations, you have all the departments. I don't have all the departments. I've had to learn it all. I learned it all in the last role I was in when I was like, what is all of this? I had to learn it. I had to look everything up. It was kind of good because I had connections and I knew some things. I was absolutely petrified about the billing and that kind of stuff because I never did the billing. But with some awesome humans around me, I've definitely been able to work that out. And CRM systems also help. I had to get a business coach, and I didn't know a thing about it. I was just a doer.
What was your best investment?
In terms of business coach,
Yeah, like,
oh, Paul
business
Brian.
coach, CRM. Oh,
He's amazing,
yeah.
and I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
So how long has he been your coach for?
I think I've had him for over a year now, probably a year and a bit. So when I kicked off the house to begin with, I lived in that property for 8 months.
Yep.
With some participants. We won at first, then two, and I had no dreams or ambitions of being any bigger. And I needed to get home to my children. I was like, how can I keep this going? I just want the one. And Paul said to me, you need to go home. You need to start being a wife and a mum and all of those things. And eventually we came up with a plan on how I was going to get out of there. I packed all my stuff up and I was able to put a plan in place so I could pay staff and start my day fresh. And build something, work on it and build more because he said you need 3 houses, right? If you don't have 3 houses and somebody passes away like we have, something happens, funding gets cut, then what is your plan? Because you are straight back to the floor again.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
it would be like I know for my own business, I do find it really hard to hire. And I think it's because no one loves my business like I love it. And I could see that. Did you find that really difficult to hire support workers because no one's going to love it like you?
I had some amazing support, as I still do, but I guess it was more the financial side of I have to pay everyone started off on a pay point 1.3 because I was like, I can't even pay myself. So how am I going to pay you guys? But I had some really lovely, passionate people come across and say, hey, I want to work with you. So I kind of had one come at a time. So when I could afford to pay them, so just it just happened and it's it's worked out. However, building is harder. Getting amazing staff that think like you do, that can apply, that can follow policies and procedures. I find a lot of that is around training, supporting, investing, setting the standard from the start and building on that pillar. So it's not, why haven't you done this? Or why haven't you done that? It's around, okay, help me to understand, guide, drop in, have oversight, and then have a chat. Can I support you? Is there anything I can help you with? So like I will do check-ins at houses at 9:30 p.m. at night. They don't know I'm coming. And that's my chance to set the standard and come from a place of understanding.
Oh, I'm for it. I do. I
Yeah.
am because it doesn't matter what time of the day you turn up. It should be across that we are serving people to the best of our ability.
Yeah. And I think if workers don't have oversight, then they can go astray or they can feel undervalued or they can feel like you don't care. And I think it's important to have that. Paul teaches a lot of that as well around, common sense isn't generally common sense. And sometimes we need to teach that because what that looks like for someone is completely different for the other person. So, if you come with a good attitude I can work with. Passive aggressive, if I pick that up, you can be the best worker ever, like in terms of like what you come with and the support that you provide. But if you can't work with a team and you can't take feedback, then this is not going to work. So I can attitude, love a great attitude. I can work with that and train.
100%. There's been people that I've had around for that's been in the sector for 20 years, and I've had people that have come in for a couple of months, and I'd bet the person with a couple of months because of attitude and their willingness to contribute and be a part of it.
That's right. You just want people to love it as much as you do.
And love the people we support. Like, no, but you know what I mean? Like, really enjoy working with them because we
I
work
know
with some amazing people. The fact
exactly.
that, and like sometimes for me, I'd be like, oh my God, I cannot believe I get paid to work with this person. They're so awesome. And the things that they do and their experience and the banter and the fun, like there is fun with it.
Support work is awesome, and I do miss, like, I do drop in and I do go to the programs and I do go to the houses and we do have days where we connect, and I do love it, and I do have this envy. I'm like, "Oh, to be a support worker again instead of at the desk having to do all this, all these bills and stuff." It's yeah.
It used to break my heart when I'd set up a support or an activity and they get to do something really fun. And you're like, God, I would love to go do that. I'd love to have that first experience with you. But like, there's also that fulfillment as well because you get to support people and line them up so they can have these experiences that they've never had before or the succeeding goals.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting, and it's not just turning up to sit on our phones and provide nothing. So we definitely have a policy around phones and what we expect from staff in terms of interaction, engagement, and what we're actually there for. And some people, if they don't do those things, then there is a conversation there around this isn't for you.
So, what do you believe most people get wrong when it comes to SEAL support?
In terms of like a business wise or
You tell me. I'm all for it. I'm all ears. I'm learning a lot.
so in terms of like what people get wrong, I think some people think it's easy. It's like a babysitter job. You walk in and you walk out. And why do I have to do shift notes? Why do I have to answer all these questions? It's because it matters. And it matters to everybody that supports this person. And that's a matter of getting funding over the line and not getting funding. That's a matter of, being able to say we adhere to a mealtime management plan or to let behavior support practitioners build something so they know exactly what's going on. So that is why it's important. I think as well, what makes us SEAL support not so great. No oversight. No oversight. You will have everyone doing their own thing, what they want, when they want, and it doesn't create strong foundations for the people we support.
Do you assist people into that's your provider? Like, how many do you have all up?
So we actually I think we had 5 or 6, and I think we've scaled back to 4 now, and we have a respite house as well and a hub. And the reason for the scaled back was I got the business coach, Paul, he mentored me, and well, let's just say we went from 1 to 5 in like, I think it was 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay.
And I think I almost had to experience that to just see where where everything kind of fell apart. So
Yeah.
what happened was, well, we did have some participants pass away, which is really awful, but we had people that were not the right fit. So we've people to support that were not the right fit. So, some really high end behaviors which the staff were not equipped to deal with. And I don't think even if we had 3-to-1 supports, it would have been manageable. So we now know what our niche is and what we cannot support. Also around systems, we know CRM is perfect, right? But we did have gaps. The structure just was not there to support the growth. So we took a step back and went, hey, we need to evaluate. I need to work with Paul. I worked with multiple people. So even within his little profitable provider, there's just so many awesome people, and we all share ideas and we leverage off each other and we scale faster, whether that's scaling forwards or scaling back. Profit is great in terms of, you need it for training, you need it to be able to pay your staff, you need it to be able to work as compensation. And I do a lot of things with our participants that, I don't know, I just love making them all feel lovely. And for me, that's showing like putting into things like craft within the houses and taking them out. So I do a lot of that, and you need profit to be able to do that. So profit's always good, but sometimes having more, so more houses, it's not profit. Sometimes it means less, more stress, less profit. So yeah.
So you talked about your experience Moving forward now, how do you transition somebody from their own family home, into one of your SIL houses?
So we see that quite a bit. And I think we've got an aging community, and, we see a lot of parents that, are moving into aged care themselves, and they're not able to look after their loved ones anymore. And we've been seeing this more and more. So what that looks like is generally a support coordinator will contact us or the family, or someone will reach out and just starts with a conversation. I invite them out to view a property. I see if they're a good fit. So do a bit of an intake process and see if we potentially have a home that would be a suitable match. Then it's a walkthrough. I don't provide I don't do any pressure. It's more like just come and have a look. So you can see what a SIL home
Well,
looks
you
like.
kind of know what it feels like when you walk through the door.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety that families feel having to put their loved one into a home. And not a group home. I don't call it a group home, like a home, like an actual home where they belong. And it's important that they are not rushed through that process, and there is no expectations. So when people contact me, it's very much did you want to walk through one of our homes and get a feel for what a SIL home looks like? Even when we don't have a potential fit, we have people call where they've got children that are transitioning into the NDIS and they're from out of home care. And it's like, just come and have a look. So just giving them that idea, because I think they need to be able to see it, feel it, and understand that it's not clinical. It shouldn't feel clinical.
How do you make it feel like home? Because I feel like there's that line at times, because we are in somebody's home, but as support workers, it is our working environment. How do you balance the two to ensure that somebody has that feeling as, this is my home?
So it's definitely personalizing and asking them, how much stuff do you have? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? It's matching them with participants. I shouldn't even say participants, just awesome people, basically. I hate that word. But it's matching them with the right fit, making sure it aligns, and, put that bookcase out there, put those books on that shelf, put stuff up on the walls if you like. But also, like, around Christmas and Easter and things like that, I do go overboard, and I do spend Christmas with the participants, and I love it. So it's more than just, this is it and we're babysitting you. It's getting involved. It's getting the workers involved and making that a part of, we're everything for them. Sometimes that's all they have. So yeah, that's really important to me.
Do you find the setting up with somebody their room like fun?
Yeah, so sometimes they come with their Star Wars figures and they'll have all the little knickknacks. It's super exciting, but we also, when people come in, we have a little gift basket and a welcome pack, and they'll generally know the people that they're living with and the workers, because they do meet the team before they come in, and we will organize a few meet and greets. It's not rush. Yes, sure. We're not just filling vacancies because we have a spot.
So, what are some green flags in your experience?
Green flags. Okay, so if you
You were
walk
waiting for
in,
this question, weren't you?
if you walk in and you get a really good feeling, right? So it's like the house is maintained. It's not dingy. You go in and it's clean. Like, yeah, it's a home, but it shouldn't be super cluttered to the point where there's dust builds up. Like, if there's support workers in there and they're working alongside and supporting the people within the home, then this is a no-brainer. So it's really important that anyone can walk into that home, and that home is always at an acceptable level. Routines. So they can have their routine charts. They know exactly who the workers are. So someone's coming to view the house, they can see the board, they can see faces. So we use photos of their workers. They know it's predictable. Menus on fridges. Not that we decide. It's what the people decide that they want to have for dinner. They sit down, they do it together. So that's
Explain that further, because I've had conversations in the past with people about how important it is to have choice over your menu and how you get to that. How do you support people in the house to choose their menu?
So mostly they will sit down together, and obviously the people who have the capacity to be able to do so. And it's about working together to go, okay, what is it that everyone would like? We need to come up with 7 dinners. We need to come up with, 7 lunches. And someone might not like fish, but they'll want a steak instead. So it's just about changing the meat up and just working out what they want. They also go and get the food together. So if they have the capacity, it's writing the list out, it's working out what's within the budget, and then going out and purchasing that food. We also use, what are they called? Portion plates. So that was super. I know I've noticed, and a lot of people come to me and ask me about this. A lot of families like put on lots of weight. What do I do? They're just eating chips and nuggets, chips and nuggets. So look, we encourage preferred foods and we do our very best to make that happen. And what we do with that is portion. Portion is everything. So we teach. So you've got like the veggies, you've got the meat, and then you've got the carbs. That's super important. Obviously, if people are hungry without any restrictive practices, you can't just implement that. But most of the time you can get them on board. If you have workers that come in and think they're doing a favor by, they're making them really, really full and filling up their bellies. But then we've got someone that weighs, 180 kilos, for example, then it's like, well, this isn't, where does the duty of care kind of lie here? We really do need to be supporting healthier choices and educating in that space. So it is walking around the block together as a group and it is using those portion plates. It's important. A lot of people have diabetes that we support as well. So again, that comes into play. Yeah, it's just more so around education, and it does work most of the time.
Well, that's our jobs really as support workers, to guide, inform choice.
Yeah, and look, I know that we've had, and you see it everywhere. People think that filling plates with cheesy pasta and potato bake and like filling it right up is doing good because they've got full bellies. As the medical issues continue to arise and people need more support or can't do those personal cares themselves, we're really taking that away from them and we're not doing an amazing sense. We're not starving anyone by any means, but it's really about trying to get that education and balance.
So, besides like the plate is a form of communication,
Yeah.
what other, you talked about the board having photos of the stuff. What other communication aids do you implement into people's homes?
So we've also got their own routine boards. So we have the routine boards ourselves and they can put visuals up of what their week or day looks like and the times and how they'd like to be supported. But we also do one-on-one weekly meetings with participant, with our special person that we love. And that could mean if they don't have the capacity, we do invite the coordinator. We do invite families and stakeholders to be a part of that if they are wanting to be a part of that. Sometimes we just have amazing coordinators that just continuously, they're in contact all the time. So we've got that working relationship. But it's very important for the people we support to have a voice and how we go about that. It's one-on-one. Sometimes it's with me, sometimes it's with the coordinator, and we go over what's working well this week. What hasn't gone so well? What are the things, have you had a fight with somebody? Are you angry at your housemates? Is there something that the support worker did that made you feel a certain way? Are you not happy with the menu? And same with the good things. What were the good things? Did you go out on community access? Did you do anything that was awesome within the house? It could be anything. And we just kind of unpack and they love it. But then we also talk about anything that's happening for the next week and goal wise. NDIS goals are, they're just like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the planning meeting, you get the whole, are they still relevant? And it's like, well, what are they? So we really break those goals down and we say every week to a fortnight, we go, okay, what's 1 to 2 things that you really want to do in the next 1 to 2 weeks? And it could be, I want to go to the gym, I want to walk around the corner, I want to cook 2 nights a week. That gets filtered down to support staff and we monitor that. So we link it the next week and before you know it, they've achieved so many things.
So, for anyone listening to this, can you talk about the benefits? Because some people, I know with agency staff, the turnover rate and the churn rate is so high that we miss all this opportunity to talk about how people can be really successful. Can you give us talk a little bit, maybe in deep, like a bit more depth, or where a participant won because they were able to have that
Yeah.
consistent communication?
So we have a very special lady, and I'm sure she would not mind sharing her story. She's actually been on a podcast sharing her story herself.
Yeah.
So I've known this person prior to starting up, and this person slept 23 hours of 24 hours, fully incontinent. It was not good. Basically, would not shower, slept, did not care, and there was nothing going on. There was absolutely nothing. This person was completely tapped out. This person came to us, and I thought, I need to turn this around. How can I turn this around? And thought about it, and I started using an evidence-based model. We used it as MST can therapy, particularly with families who were about to lose their children. But that was just what it was used for and where I learned it. And I thought, I can apply this to support work. I can apply this to how we support our people. And what that looked like was, for this person, it was breaking everything down. Okay, can the goal be that we're going to be awake between these hours and these hours? It could be, we're just going to stay awake 3 hours longer, right? That worked. So we had one to two goals. It started off with, we're going to rinse our plate. I'm going to show you guys. This is what all our participants in that property that I lived in. And we're going to learn how to rinse these plates and put them in the dishwasher. And then we had that happening. I can't believe how far this person has come, because it started with being in the shower and the worker having to do absolutely everything, right? And this person has become, she's fully continent, and the shower support, it went from, okay, I know you hate showers, but if we can just get one in, I will support you. So I would do the washing and all of those things. And then it got to a point, 3 weeks down the track, when we had the showers in routine and the guidance, it was that I'm going to step away and then I'm going to guide you. More so, arms up, and then we got to a point of, this person was showering themselves. This is a person that slept 23 hours, refused showers, and was incontinent. Then it turned into, okay, we need to get you walking. So this person, we then started going for walks around the block every single day. It was amazing. The mental health, the self-esteem. Then we started going, okay, now we're going to cook 2 meals a week. We've already got the dishes down packed. Now we're having showers. Now we're cooking. This is friggin' awesome. And then it turned into cooking for everybody else. Then it turned into trying to mother hen the house and doing lots of activities. And this person actually has a friggin' job right now. So they're awake all the time.
What was it like? This is not something that happened overnight. Is this a year of progress too?
I
Like
think
how?
it was probably a good 8 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, it's really, really exciting. And I think back, if we do see a little bit of a decline, it's working with all the stakeholders going, what are we going to do? What's the next kind of plan? Because if you don't have that support, then the wheels fall off. And it's those communications of what's working well, and really, really diving into the small wins, because they were all very small things. And I've got staff that find it very hard to believe that this person was that person. And I'm like, this is friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you broke down each activity for her and slowly built that. Were you able to? So I know you were talking about the method that you use to follow and track how it went. Is that something that you get to bring up to the next planning meeting?
Yeah. So obviously capacity has increased, and that's what we want for the people we support. It's not about going, oh, we're just going to have the 4 walls and you guys just stare at the walls. I'm going to sit on my phone. It's, hey, let's do something together. Let's cook together. Let's clean up together. If you need support, I'll help you. And if they've got capacity, we will do with you, not for you. Obviously, it ranges, if you've got older people or people that have physical limitations, it can look very different. But that doesn't mean that there's no goal for them or their family.
So you've got the SIL part, you've also got the respite part. If anyone was to you like how do you get into using respite with you guys?
Respite. So we now have a dedicated property for respite. If on the odd occasion this person is a known person to us and they get along with the group of people within a home and there's a space, absolutely. We foster that and we leverage off that, because I think it's important to know that, like, these people also go to activities with people within the home. So it's like a little holiday. But we support an amazing 17-year-old for respite, and it's really good. So she'll also join in on the activities. So we just try and do what we can and support where we can. Yeah.
So, where are you guys situated? Like, where are you from?
So we're near the Hunter Valley. We service mostly Maitland, Cessnock, Curry Curry, Head and We've got a property in Head and We've got a few properties in Annamba, which is just behind Rutherford. And then we've also got our skills skills hub, community access hub in Gilliston Heights, where I'm sitting now. And we've got the Respite attached next door as well. Yeah.
Can you give me more about the Skills Hub?
So the Skills Hub is new. So we are doing a little bit in that space, and we're gathering more data around what people want to see and what they would like to be a part of. I have just popped out a post tonight around that because we are getting referrals and inquiries. What's on what days? And we do have people here daily, and that's really exciting because it is really taking off. And we had we had two gentlemen in here and three ladies yesterday, and there was a bit of cooking happening, so meal prep. So it's around, they're still taking meals home, but they're able to plan them out, prep them, and then they have food in the fridge for later, like that they can take home with them. And then they did a bit of craft, some Mother's Day craft.
That's, like some people when they hear that, they're like, "Oh, that is wild that you can do that. You can make a meal there and take it home."
Yeah,
Millennial us know that was an expectation that if you like you said about full bellies and health and well-being of the people that we support, that you don't need to eat it all and you can take it home and have it later,
yeah.
and there's a guarantee that someone's got dinner later for some people that we
That's
serve.
right. And look, we do have some clients that they don't have support independent living funding, and they probably should. And they don't have the skills to cook, and they don't quite know what they're doing. They've never been shown. So, one of the requests was, can you please assist this gentleman to create meals that he can take home? And I think that's really important. So it's not just, we've got a program, we're going to cook muffins. It's not just that. And it's also, resume skill build. Like, it's actually real stuff. We make candles for Pure Start. We simulate what that looks like. So it's getting them job ready.
Did you have a background in job ready stuff, or is this something that you like a passion project that you
Look,
moved forward?
I think I just have that background that just cares so much and just wants to give and support and kind of like, come on guys, come in here. Like a mother hen kind of nature. But with that, I did do what did I do? With Aruma, I did do the transition to work program, the training, and I loved
Knew
it.
you'd have
Loved
something.
it.
They're not easy skills to have. Like this, and this is
No.
from the opportunity to having really good mentors in our life that we're able to do and learn and adapt. But it's a
Yeah.
different way of thinking. I don't know. Like I sometimes think there's not enough mentorship in our space. It's really difficult. It just exploded really quickly.
That's
But
it.
I knew
And
what you.
parents, I worked a little bit with Parents Next for young mums who had children that were families under 7 years old, and it was helping them try and gain some skills and write resumes and things like that. I'm just really passionate about it. I just love everyone.
So, what does the future got in store? Is there any big game plan next, or is it just nurturing what you've got?
It's really wild because I'm sitting here going, well, do we grow? Do we stay where we are and just kind of look at what we've got? My husband, he was the one behind Pure Start, which is a charity, and we've just kicked that off. And look, that's really exciting. But he also works in the RAF, so it's like, yeah, that's all good and well. But then more, it's just like there's more that comes with that. But that's really exciting because I was even thinking about that tonight. And we don't just support people with disabilities, so it can be anyone. And I was thinking tonight, a skills hub around marginalized, vulnerable people that haven't quite had the opportunity or don't have the same opportunities to develop skills, gain an understanding around, what it's like to go and get a job. What are the questions, practice those, get their resumes in order. And I just said to my husband tonight, I should set up a certain time, whether it be once a month or twice a month, where I actually dedicate time to support people, whether disabilities or no disability, people coming out of home care and doing that transitioning, because it is a scary space for people that they want to work, they want the same skills. And people with disabilities, I've seen it firsthand. We've got people in houses that need stimulation don't have the same opportunities. So it's like, hey, they don't have to sit in the home. Let's get them into the hub. Let's get the skills happening. Let's create something that hopefully is self sustainable and can provide them employment. So, some exciting news. We today got a tender. We did a little tender and we got a tender with Curry Curry Community Services washing their fleet of cars. Now,
Congratulations.
thank you.
There is and people are like, "Oh, it's just washing cars." No, there's a whole skill breakdown to wash cars. It's really not that easy.
So many people that would love to wash cars that we support or that are out there in the community, and we'll build those skills. We'll get it to a point where we will be paying people to come to work and have a job. Like that's friggin' exciting. Same with the candles. There's an art to making candles and going to markets and using iPads and using FPOS systems. And it's exciting. My hope is that this really takes off so we can help more people.
That's amazing. I bet you didn't expect this is where you'd be maybe 5 years ago?
Absolutely not. No.
Would you do it all again?
If you ask me would I live in a home again for 8 months, I'd probably say absolutely not. I didn't have a time frame on that. I didn't know when I was going to be able to move out of that. I honestly didn't, and I lost touch with my family and my children, and I'm Ubering food home, and integrating back home was really, really hard. So I probably wouldn't do that again. But in terms of where we are now, absolutely. It's just about having the right people in the right roles and the systems. If all the systems align and everything's smooth sailing, this can be whatever it wants to be. But without those foundations, and we're in no rush to just hurry things along because that's just stress and reactive responses. So we're excited about moving at a pace that we know is manageable.
So, if anybody wanted to contact you to be a support worker, or if they're looking to maybe look at transitioning to one of the homes that you provide or your skills, where is the best place to find you and your business?
So we have a website, purelivingaccommodation.com.au, and there's an intake form on there. You can even just do a little inquiry and I'll give you a call. There's also our Facebook. Our Facebook showcases all the amazing things we do and the people we support and what they bring to the table. It's awesome. It just makes me all fluffy. And we've got our Pure Start page as well for anyone wanting to kind of get involved in that program. And yeah, I guess LinkedIn as well. If you're a coordinator or a stakeholder, potentially, I guess for the I personally want to focus on children transitioning in out of home care youth. So it's a big step. Really passionate
Yeah.
about people who identify as well, because I feel like everybody deserves a good fresh start in a supportive environment where they have a place to make mistakes and feel like they belong. And yeah.
You sounds like you've got a big and bright future. We're gonna have to do like a life update in like a year's time. No, no, serious, because I'd love to hear about how the charity goes, how the tender to car washing, and where you're at in SEAL land.
Yeah. And I didn't do this all alone, guys. There's Michael Clark, there's Christopher Lapper, there's Paul Bryan, there's Tanya Gomez, there's all of these amazing people and all the people in Profitable Provider as well. Like I have not walked this alone. So I think it's important to remember, these are all the people that shape how we do things and the quality as well.
You didn't have to do it alone. I think sometimes
Yeah.
we forget that
It's
as business
lonely.
owners, that you should, when in doubt, reach out.
That's exactly right. 8 months I did it alone and all I needed was a network.
Thank you so much for this podcast.
Very welcome. Bye, guys.